Glad to be here tonight, and I'm going to babble just a little bit. You have to excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold, so I have a cough drop in my mouth. So when we heard that the library were closing, my wife and I had a lot of discussions about, what that might look like. And I had been for a number of months, this is my first year as a superintendent at Sutherlin, my 5th year in the district. And as we'd seen, how vibrant the library actually was. And so when we heard that it was going to be closing, we started talking about ideas. Something that came to our mind is, how can we cooperate and just be mutually beneficial to two different entities. Sutherlin started an online school called Sutherlin Valley Online Academy. While it's online academy, that's only the curriculum. We have students in seats every day. We have about 70 students right now who attend our online academy. And so we started thinking, hey, how is it possible that we could take our online academy, maybe move it to the library and in some way provide some services to keep the library open. And that was just kind of a wild, crazy idea as we ran it by some of the city council members and our city manager. It just started to blossom a little bit. Jean here has been wonderful in organizing volunteers, and so we sat down with the city and Jean and a few other people and just said, hey, let's there's some rooms there that we can use, and we would like to kind of put our name in the hat to use those as the school year comes to a close and we start in the school year. But what we could do in the meantime to help the library, one, is we could first start to provide technological support, IT support. We have that as part of our school. We have somebody that does that. And I also said that, hey, I would at some point be willing, maybe as in my position, to be willing to manage or help manage volunteers as we move towards the future. And again, the ball just started to roll. Pat, just out of the generosity of his heart, has provided, I think 9 or 12 computers.
Well, it's flexible right now. We're willing to help whatever, but I did it just because Gene told me to.
Okay.
And can I point out,
Yeah.
Terry, I want to give kudos to Terry and his staff because they've already been a big help. Miguel is awesome.
Yes.
So would you make sure you tell him that I did a shout out for him because he was a lot of help getting us going.
I will do that. I tell him that all the time.
And Sean Fallon, Pat, should we publicly thank Sean Fallon as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because he really.
Because at the last minute, he bailed us out at the last minute, so I want to make sure he gets his due.
So, with the computers coming in and just kind of this model of cooperation, we've been able to open the library. It's been open as a reading room under that reading room model all week. All of the hours that it's normally been open, it has still been open thanks to the volunteers. All the public computers are running, they're hooked up to printers, and we're ready to go. What I would like to think of in the future, as a possibility, if we can help with this model, is that this summer we move our summer school with our middle school and high school to one of the rooms. We have our own technology that we could bring, and out of that, we also our elementary summer school comes to the library at least once a week or twice a week during the summer. We would like to use our older kids to help supervise and do things with our younger kids in the library as they do that through their summer school. But also more than that, I think the idea of school districts and the libraries partnering maybe to manage collections is a true possibility. I've too done some research on on management of the collection, and I don't pronounce it correctly, but Circe Dynex, I've had some conversations with them, and there are inventory management models and services that, because they go to schools, tend to be a lot cheaper, but they're also cheaper because they don't manage such a large collection in numerous different sites. And I think the schools have some expertise in that also. So again, as we move forward, I see Sutherlin, at least through the course of this next year, the school district, the city, and the city's been wonderful, and I need to give a shout out to them too. The city has allowed us to move in. We're going to be moving our kids in there this year. They've allowed us to do that. They've kind of made it an open door policy and given us the tools we need to make it happen. But I see us next year housing, our school there. I see us actually having every one of our students being required to do some sort of work experience inside the library. I see us actually doing a lot of the maintenance around the library as part of work experience and job shadows in cooperation with the city. And I don't know where that's going to go after that. I think once you get the ball rolling, a lot of things can happen. And so that's kind of where we're at now. There has been some difficulties. One of the questions was, how do we get volunteers there who we know are safe to be around? And we already at the schools have a management system for that. And so through the volunteers in the city, we ran criminal histories and background checks on the volunteers. That's turned into the city and Gene, and then we go from there. And that'll be an issue. That's something that we're dealing with in the future. If we're going to house students there, and we're going to have the public there also, how do we keep everybody safe in good situations? But again, I just think it's a great partnership right now. I like the idea of, again, I'm not pushing anything. I like the idea that the ESD might be interested in helping in some manner or being involved. UCC, I think those are all possibilities for the future. So that's kind of where we're at. Yes, Pat?
Here, I get, part of when you're brainstorming these things around, the school district has a requirement for a certain number of libraries for every grade school, middle schools, and high schools, high schools.
Yes, we have a library at every one of our schools.
So, if you're going to do a big picture and draw a big box around it, is there any way to incorporate those into because they're basically the same functions?
So those libraries in some ways act independent of each other, but they are in the same management system. So we have an inventory of all of those books. So if there are books that need to move from one library to the other, we can do that.
I guess my question was even one step beyond that. And this isn't just for the Sutherlin Library, but let's say that the school district in Douglas County, they all go together and say, we have a function that we call our library system. So each one of our students has a library card, I assume, or something similar.
Something similar.
As well as, a combination of the public and private, public libraries and school district libraries. Has anybody done that? I know there's been some.
So, I can't tell you real specifics, but I do know that in Sherman County, they have a county public library on the high school grounds. And that is essentially their high school, middle school library. I don't know all the particulars of that, but I do know that has occurred.
And I'm going to go back to a question that, well, actually, in Wolf Creek, the charter school at Wolf Creek, the public library is actually their designated library. So
Okay.
it's a collaboration that works pretty good. Would you be interested if we wanted to chat with you further later, do some exploration of that?
Yes. I think there are some possibilities that way, because honestly, I do believe that as far as schools are concerned, libraries need to change. And it's difficult to say that, but we still are using a fairly old model with libraries. I go to our library, and the only books that really are getting checked out are new, modern fiction books. We have a huge number of resource books that are not used simply because kids are so in tune to technology. And I think schools, and I'll be the first one to say, Southern schools need to look at a different model for their school library. So, yes.
On your periodicals, newspapers, and everything, which is a civic part of it, a library reading or whatnot, is there a mechanism in which the school district could purchase them, because you already purchased them in the first place, and then get them at a discount, and then
So there is some possibility that way. I know Gene and the volunteers have already worked out a way for the current library under its system to continue the periodicals. One of the things I will tell you that we don't purchase many periodicals anymore in the high school and middle school libraries They just aren't used as much as they used to be for that expense. But I'm sure there is some way that cooperation and purchasing them, as a group would be beneficial, yes.